All right.
So now Fat Guy has food.
We have acquired some Arby's to eat while they are loading. And we are going to go buy a big thing that we sort of need. Definitely need.
Definitely don't need. But we're going to have fun with anyways.
Definitely need. Yeah, this is one of those someone should probably take away my credit cards kind of days. But it was a good deal, and it popped up, and I kept saying to myself, that ain't going to last long. And I showed one of my buddies, Jalen, and he's like, oh man, that's not going to last very long. And then I was like, you know, screw it, and I bought it. So
you're right. It's not going to last long.
No, yeah.
Swipe.
It's the first thing I bought there that still had the new arrival tag on it in over a year. Because normally I wait for things to come down in price, but I decided this one, I needed to be the one to buy this one. There was no option. This place is like the land of misfit toys for milling machines. They've got a few. So now I just gotta figure out where mine is. Should have brought my wider lens. 2700. I like that little one there, that's nice. So, here we go. There it is. It's not as big as I thought it was. This is nice. This is the size of machine I was hoping to get. Alright. Time to dig in. Well, as predicted, I'm in love. Great. So yeah, I guess I'm taking it home with me. And it's gonna be a nice machine to have. To finally have a real CNC that cuts metal, and I just gotta figure out how to use it. It does have a controller I've never used before, so we'll have to figure out how one uses a mock motion. But it comes with a trackball. Interesting. And I will have to learn what this number here means. Manual focus. There we go. Somebody's home position for something. But yeah, it's a nice looking machine. I can get it to focus. And I think it's going to be a good addition to the shop. It does run on 3-phase, but it runs on 223-phase. And it has a whole separate cabinet over here for 120. So should be not much of a deal to run once I figure out how to get it home and get it off the trailer, and particularly into the door. It's 82 inches tall, and my garage door is 83 inches tall. So that'll be fun, but it's got coolant, it's in pretty good condition, everything feels nice and tight. I love it. They got this nifty little Cincinnati shaper here. I definitely don't need a shaper, but if I did, that'd be the one. Bit of a busy day at the surplus hut. Everybody's down here loading their trucks up. So I just bought the mill. It's pretty much perfect. That's exactly what I was hoping. It's a little smaller than I thought it was, which is good, because that's what I needed. And yeah, if we can get it through the door at home, then we are more than good. Lee's got his 3500 and the trailer, and now we're just waiting for a space to open up on the pad over here so we can start loading. Let's see if we can get on the trailer without dropping it. Alright, now it's out in the sunlight. It's still in good condition. I'm actually really happy with it. Got the high power cabinet here for the 230 cabinet. And then the controller swings around back, which is nice. And then the 120 cabinet in the back. And it even comes with a coolant tank. And the trailer does not seem to care. So that loaded up perfectly.
Does this angle make my ass look big? Oh, probably the Cheerios.
So your ass makes your ass look big. What? So, I think we got it on there. It's strapped to within an inch of its life. Should be pretty good, but just remember, there are rules. That's not going anywhere.
Hey.
we definitely had to improvise to get this thing on here. It's got a bunch of guarding on the table, and it's got electrical boxes on 2 sides, and you really can't get to the post in the middle. But don't worry, I checked. The handle does not come off. It is fixed. So this guy bought more machines than me. So if anyone's got a problem, it's this guy. But super nice guy. He's from Afghanistan. It was nice talking to him. Yeah, I think we're good. We're gonna get that oil bin in the back of the truck, and we're good to go. All right, trailer loaded. Truck's gonna take it fine. It's not that heavy. It's 3,600 pounds, but there's also 550 pounds of structural steel in the back too. So trailer definitely noticed, but it should be fine. And we got every strap we could find on it, so we should be good. Lee's actually talking to a nice guy from Afghanistan right now and learning some Persian / Farsi. Really nice guy. And scans with Ed March riding his motorcycle across the planet. He said Iranians and Afghanis were the nicest people he'd ever met. And at scans, they seem to be very kind. So, really cool guy. And he's got a semi-truck full of stuff, so we're not the only ones with a bit of a problem. But yeah, I'm really excited to get this thing home. It's in phenomenal condition. So we made it. It's here. So Lee's gonna back it down the driveway, and I'm going to move my Honda out of the way because my Honda's in the way right now. And we're gonna back it down there. Hopefully get it down past the side door, so then tomorrow we can hopefully get a Corolla out of the garage and I'll have somewhere to put this thing. Well, it survived. Truck handled it well. Yeah, he's pretty good at this. This section of driveway actually isn't straight, so you gotta take a couple bites out of it sometimes, especially with a big truck like this one. There's not a lot of room to work. Definitely makes it difficult. I'm pretty excited to get this thing running though. I've been looking for a good mill for probably 10 years, which is why I ended up buying these engineered I-beams here to build a CNC mill, and then stumbled across this one in the process. Yeah. I bought that for cheaper and I can build one. Alright, it's bright out here. So Lee's on his way home, and Jack is all sorted with his therapist for now, so I can come out here and get a little more footage, get this thing unstrapped and maybe tarped up for the night. I'm not going to be able to get it in the garage today, for sure. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get in the garage at all. We'll have to see. The plan is, should it come down to it, this garage door may get a little taller, because there's a lot of things we want to put in there that don't fit in there. But I also swapped to a wider lens, which gives us a little more opportunity to get a better shot of it. And also, it's got a little bit of zoom function on it. No autofocus though. But anyway, so the only concern I've found on this machine so far is that cover. You know, I have the cover for it, unless it's still in the back of Lee's truck. We'll just see. But that is how you access the ball screw for the quill. Now, why would this be a concern? Because it's open. Somebody was in there. Now, it looks good in there, but my question is it open because of a problem that was enough for them to give up on a machine? I did notice this may be a control missing, so I'll have to look into that. did also notice that it looks like you can split this thing right here at the seam, which would be nice should I not be able to get this through the door. Take the top half off and suddenly it would go through. But that also is a cover over a servo. I should be able to take that off and get a couple inches out of it. Now this machine has a Z-axis on the quill, and then it has the Y-axis motor and the X-axis motor, and then it has a motor on the Z, the knee. But this is not a servo motor. This is just a three-phase motor, and it has a little control which is broken off. Nice, thanks guys. That is just an up-down power feed, and you can hand crank it or you can pull this out and it will swing free for when it's powered. It has a table lock down there, and it looks like it used to have hand wheels. I'm not sure. They appear to have been removed. It has a separate switch for the flood coolant right here. It has an auto oiler, which may even work. I don't know. I haven't tried it. Oh, it works. What do you know? That's good. The one on my Bridgeport doesn't. So if I climb around back, it has a mystery switch. A little momentary. Got to figure out what that's for. It might be a one shot for the oiler. I don't know. Down here, it has some pneumatic workings. I believe it has a pneumatic drawbar, which would be nice to have a power drawbar. I don't really know how to use it, but we'll figure it out. After I get everything unstrapped, I can take some bolts out and pop the covers open. It does have a motion controller on it, which is nice. It has a trackball. Haven't seen one of them in years. And amazingly, rode the whole way home like that. And then the keyboard actually pops out down there, and it's a full QWERTY keyboard. And then it's got the power cabinet on this side here. This little tripod I'm using as a handy cam is not ideal. It's always in the way. Keep whacking it. But yeah, so I went up there to the surplus hut to buy these. These are engineered I-beams. And there's two that are a match pair and then one that's different. And I was thinking the two of them welded together with that as a vertical, as a Z, would really nicely make a little mill. I have mechanisms to make tables and all that stuff, and it would be fairly accurate, and it'd be very heavy. It's 550 pounds on that pallet. But I ended up finding this. And yesterday, I sent my salesperson a message and said, I want it. Can you measure the height? Because if it'll fit through my door, I'll take it. And she comes back and says, it's 82 inches. That door is 83. So I'm a man of my word, and here it is. So it's gonna be fun to get it up and working. These servo motors are Tech Electro. Not familiar with them, but they're 750 watt at least on that one. This one's covered up. I'm guessing it gets coolant and stuff on it because of its location. And I'm thinking they're all the same. So there's going to be another one under that cover for the quill. But the ways appear to be in good condition. It's a little dirty. Nothing out of the ordinary. Nothing moves when you yank on it. It is stable as a rock. And I moved the Z, the knee, up and down a few times, and it felt really good. This is a tight machine, and it's a little old, but it's in pretty good condition. That's a momentary switch up here, by the way, and I think that might be the drawbar. But yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. But I got high hopes. So I'm learning is this 12208 sticker isn't very accurate. Because in here is the 10 horsepower main drive for the spindle and all the contactors and such. There's some low voltage stuff down here, labeled, and the Durapulse manual, much appreciated. And it looks like the main contactors up here. This would be the Z up and down, I assume, hence the reversing contactor and then an overload. And then a contactor and overload here, I assume would be for the coolant pump. And then we have a control transformer of some sort. A couple breakers. There's No door schematic. That'd be too nice. And then this is our main incoming breaker right here, which is conveniently located right here. And our flood coolant switch right next to our plug, which actually, surprisingly, this does have a plug on it. Nice, super short cord, but nice to have. This is what I always laugh when people call me a genius. Yeah, I'm a genius, aren't I? Anyway, the good news is I can get in here just enough to swirl the camera in. So up here is the motion controller and some power supplies and contactors and then fusing and then the drives for the servo motors and a whole pocket full of documentation, which is probably the most valuable part of all of this. So this is the manual for the servo drives. Excited to see that. And this is the cover off the motion controller. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. It's going to be nice. Metal cover on it. Got my serial number and everything. Fantastic. Seems to be a well-built machine. Let's see if I can get out of this dock pocket here. As a controls engineer, you see that. That makes you happy. Ooh. Marked up drawings for the electrical side. 1989 these were issued. I was guessing by the date this machine could be an 85, but we'll see. We'll see what we learn. My friends in Racine, Washington seem to be very cool to work with too. So maybe we can get some information directly from them. All we got to do is ask kind of style. So, shunt trip. Words I don't like to hear. Cool. Ethernet stuff. Alright, so that's nice. That's the single phase drawing. Single phase. Interesting. We'll look into that. Photocopies out of the Apollo manual. Troubleshooting and alarms. That's going to come in handy. Another copy of that. Ooh, look, someone drew in. But relays control what? These are the kind of things you just dream about when you're in the field working on a machine and nobody will help you with anything. Back up and restore Mach 4. This actually runs Mach. That's awesome. Oh, wonder who Nick is. Might have to give him a call. Gus needs the sales guy at Automation Direct. Bill 2 Light Lab, Buffalo, New York. Huh. What's he buying? Induction motor and a flange for it. I wonder what that's for. Might not be related at all. Stuff from Mach Motion. Oh wow, they were troubleshooting. And the guys from Mach Motion technical support were talking them through it. Mach 3 restore. Oh yes. Full setup documentation from the factory. Full installation manual. It is a 1050, that's what I thought. And the full manual for the Apollo 3. Oh man, this is such good news. This is such good news. I'm so happy about all this. I was figuring I was going to be flying blind on this, but this may be the cheapest machine I've ever bought, just because it probably needs next to nothing. I'm really happy about this. Now we learned something. They had a Z-axis limit fault, and they were struggling to get past that. So that might be part of what's going on here. I can work with that. Thought I was impressed before. It has a Cherry brand keyboard. It's full mechanical and very industrial, and will probably outlive me. Found my side cover. It was in one of my bins. This is gonna be a nice machine to operate. You have to listen to my window air conditioner. It's that kind of day. So all the documentation that was inside the machine is actually going to be incredibly useful. The control system setup has diagrams for the different types of motors and full wiring schematics for the Apollo, which was our controller. And the Apollo 3 apparently is quite a capable system. Uses RJ45 connectors for a lot of the connections. Sadly, it's not EtherCAT. It's a little older than that. But it allows you to hook up multiple of the MPG, the little clicky wheels, and it supports something like 12 axes. It at least does 8. And there's also full electrical schematics for the entire machine. Not quite ANSI prints, but they're huge. And there's multiple of the different sections of the machine. But the most interesting by far has been these. I'll put one on the screen for you. It's a discussion between Mock Motion Tech Support and George, the guy who was working on the machine. And there was a discussion here about the machine will not home and gives a Z-axis fault. If we attempt to jog, it will only run in the extend and not retract. They played with the proc switch. It appears to be functional, but it seems like the software is configured incorrectly or they have a bad wire somewhere. Now, this is dated 2018, so I don't know if the machine was fixed after this, but incidentally, that cover open on the side of the machine is where the Z-axis home switch and limit switches are. So it makes me think maybe this is when they retired the machine because they couldn't figure it out. But it seems like it runs Mach 4, and that's awesome, good news. You can do all kinds of cool stuff with Mach 4, including machine profiling, where you can do surface profiling and all that. And I got the manuals for the servo system, and the servos appear to be 750 watt a piece, which is great because the 750 watt version of the Tyco servos will run on single phase power, leaving the coolant pump, the knee motor, and the main 10 horsepower drive is the only thing that needs 3-phase. The 10 horsepower drive will easily run on single phase if you lie to it, and I have small 1 horsepower VFDs that will run the other 2 motors just fine. Meaning, with some creativity, I can run this machine on about 40 amps of single phase. Well, I only have 30 right now to the garage, but we're pulling 100 in, which will make it definitely easy to run this, and even if I wanted to run off phase converter, it would be an option. But what's really neat about this setup is I don't need a 10 horsepower spindle, which means I should easily be able to run this off 20 or 30 amps, which means I could run it right now. I could run an extension cord from my welder outlet out to the trailer and fire this thing up. But tonight, I gotta play dad, which means this is a problem for tomorrow. Thanks for watching.
Consider
3500 life.
Yes. And this is with airbags. Without airbags,
This is with an empty trailer behind us and a bed with a couple 100 pounds of stuff in it, and we're just, bouncing down the road like a ping pong ball.
without the airbags,
It's jaw breaking, I know.
This thing is a tank. It's just every single pebble in the road is just miserable.
One time I was driving it from your place back here to pick up something the next day, and I was like, dear God, I'm gonna die. What's wrong with this truck? Airbags were empty.
Yeah.
So I filled them up leftward.
Left.
Yeah. Time to go show people why I need my credit cards taken away.